How's it going, boys and girls of all ages? Yours truly, Eddie G, back on duty, here to talk about some of the hottest topic rocking the internet. So let's switch to the NFL football for a bit. I know that we always normally talk about basketball, but 4 days ago, last Thursday, a Cleveland Brown rookie by the name of Damon Sheehy Giuseppe scored a punt return touchdown for Cleveland in its preseason matchup with the Redskins on Saturday. Now, let me explain to you why we're talking about Damon Sheehy Giuseppe. His life, his journey, where he had to fake it until he make it to the NFL. This is the improbable story of how little-known wide receiver Damon Sheehy Giuseppe landed a tryout and ultimately a contract with the Cleveland Browns. A little more than a week ago, Damon Sheehy Giuseppe was sleeping outside. It was just him, his 2 bags, and a patch of grass in Miami, Florida. He was spending his nights getting as much rest as he could outdoors, just steps away from the renowned NFL Combine trainer Pete Bomarito's facility. Where Sheehy Giuseppe had spent his last $200 on training services, he did so because he had no other choice. His workout with the Browns, perhaps his one and only shot at the NFL, was a week away. And if that doesn't sound preposterous enough, here's how Damon Sheehy Giuseppe worked his way into a tryout for the Cleveland Browns. He convinced them he was supposed to be there. Damon Sheehy Giuseppe, who's based in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, was once an NJCAA All-American returner. He racked up 1,178 kickoff return yards in his first season at Phoenix College, then improved on that by leading the nation in kick return yardage at 1,278 and kick return touchdowns. In his second season, he also finished second in the NJCAA in yards per kick return at 32.8 and punt return yards at 400. All the while, he yearned to grow as a football player, frequently asking offensive coaches at Phoenix College to help him become a wide receiver. They declined, telling him to focus on being the best returner he can be. Sheehy Giuseppe thinks part of it had to do with his reserved nature, which then helped him build a rapport with the coaches he needed to help guide him. And even then, he really wasn't supposed to even be on the roster. He didn't make the basketball team at Mesa Community College, finding himself instead running track until a car accident derailed the end of his first season. He didn't get a call back after working out for Phoenix College, the second junior college he pursued, but while there, Sheehy Giuseppe obtained a schedule for summer workouts and just started showing up with persistence. By the end of them, the staff really couldn't say no on his participation. So as we move ahead in time to when Damon Sheehy Giuseppe had the smallest sliver of a chance to run in front of NFL Associated eyes, it comes as no surprise then that he carved out a spot in a place he didn't belong. Damon Sheehy Giuseppe arrived at the workout in North Miami after learning of the gathering from a friend made through a flag football league in Arizona. The connection played coy on the details with Sheehy Giuseppe, though causing him to almost miss out on the opportunity. And there was one more catch: he might not be allowed to participate. I was like, just give me the address and I'll talk to them myself, he recalled. So I show up and the guy says something to me. He was like, who are you? Sheehy Giuseppe found out Brown's vice president of player personnel, Alonzo Highsmith, would be at the event scouting prospects. So he researched Highsmith to figure out what he looks like. Then he saw Highsmith. But only after he had to convince the man in charge of admission that he was supposed to be there and that he and Highsmith were familiar, even though they were not. Damon Sheehy Giuseppe spotted Highsmith when the latter arrived, beelined over to the personal man and introduced himself. That was enough to get the man with the list to write his name below the printed expected participants, which was also enough to earn him a chance to run the 40-yard dash. A 4.38 was good enough to catch Highsmith's eye. He had an excellent workout, Highsmith said Thursday. Caught punts well, ran fast. I called Brown's assistant general manager Elliot Wolf, and I said, hey, this kid, Damon Sheehy, man, he ran fast. He goes, really? I said, yeah, he caught the ball well. I'm thinking we should bring him in. And then I was like, well, maybe we'll wait. And then I thought about it, and Elliot goes, well, let's just bring him in now. Damon Sheehy Juiseppi was on cloud nine after receiving an invitation to Berea for a workout 1 week later. Problem was he bought a one-way flight to Miami with the last of his mother's rewards points. So he boarded the plane, set on earning a workout. He wasn't going back to Arizona, at least not until after his potential NFL chance was exhausted. He started the following days in a bedroom rented online but still needed to stick around in Miami beyond his stay. Set on making it on his own and knowing his mother, Swana, was operating on a budget, he closed a patch of grass for 2 nights and a 24-hour fitness center for another, keeping these details from his mom. I kept using guest passes, he said. I went to the laundromat to charge his phone. Used that. Those were my 3 spots. The fitness center was showing the most love. They kept letting me come back. When he explains the story, Damon Sheehy Juiseppi sounds like he just finished running down the beach. There's so much to tell in so little time, and it spills out of his mouth, information arriving in rapid fire. He was planning on sleeping on the beach, drifting off to the sound of the surf for a few hours. That was his temporary home. Eventually, he grabbed his bags and decided to move camp closer to his place of business. Next to a fence surrounding Bomaritos, the training home of multiple NFL standout Chief Chris Jones and Panthers wide receiver Curtis Samuel, to name a few. He trained there for a week, waking up and walking in at 6 a.m. and staying until 3 p.m. before deciding where he'll head to shower and charge his phone. For food, he wandered up to side street cookouts and had his mother and friends back in Arizona remotely order him meals. I ate like maybe once or twice a day, he said. I just had to see if I could get a meal that's going to hold me for the whole day. He was doing everything he could to make sure he was at his peak performance when his time came in Northeast Ohio, which was surprisingly isn't far from a place he called home for a few years. In high school, Damon Sheehy Juiseppi moved from Arizona to Traverse City, Michigan, following his older brother to his father's home. As for the second half of the hyphenated last name comes from, his father, John Juiseppi. Damon is one of 3 boys, the youngest. Dylan is a guard on the VCU basketball team. Dylan's VCU bio offers a peek into their interesting journey, with the listing of hometown Lake Havasu City resting right above the high school, St. Francis, which is located in Traverse City, Michigan. Damon attended St. Francis for his final 2 years of high school. 2. Making the difficult decision to leave his mother behind in Lake Havasu City. I went because my mom just felt like the Catholic school, private school, was just a better opportunity for me, said Sheehy Juiseppi. She wanted me to go to a private school so I could get the best education and hopefully I could go somewhere. Damon Sheehy Juiseppi said he gets his unflappable determination from his mom, who is a St. Francis graduate, and built her own career from restaurant serving to marketing while raising he and his athletic brothers as a single parent. His dad provided the direction to pay attention to detail. Growing up, Juiseppi said, I didn't know at the time, but as I got older, I realized how hard she worked for everything she did. Damon Sheehy Juiseppi said that was just a blessing. She didn't have anybody come help her out. She did it all by herself. We didn't have no stepdad growing up, nothing like that. It was all her by herself. If Damon Sheehy Juiseppi sounds like a bit of a football nomad, it's somewhat true. He was born in Orlando, Florida, moved to Lake Havasu City with his mother, and then ended up in Traverse City. He played Pop Warner, but was headed to junior college to play basketball. Around that time, he got seriously involved in weight training, leading to him eventually major in kinesiology. And after the car accident, he decided he instead pursue football at a second junior college. In between, he took a year off athletics, working as a door-to-door home alarm system salesman. He succeeded at Phoenix College too, but couldn't convince the school to give him an athletic scholarship, even after he earned his All-American status and after his friend gave up his own full scholarship in an unrelated matter. The plan shifted to selling himself as a Division I scholarship athlete. Damon Sheehy Giuseppe dropped out of the Phoenix College, went to the bank, applied and received a credit card and maxed it out, traveling to every FBS school and from Arizona to Florida with the same request: watch my film. Before he could even attract an offer, though, he found out he only had one more year of eligibility remaining because he didn't start playing football until his third academic year of school. To make matters worse, he was 9 credits short of being able to transfer. He was stuck. Only one school wanted to watch it. Sheehy Giuseppe said, "But I went to every big-time school in the SEC you could think of, Big 12, and then I came back and I didn't have any money to go back to school." Left with no collegiate options, Damon Sheehy Giuseppe resorted to training for 2 years straight, with his sole focus centered on making it to the NFL. He loved training so much and wanted so badly to find a way to professional football. He frequented every notable training facility in Arizona, connecting with quarterbacks like former Browns camp participant Brogan Roback and former Florida and Notre Dame passer Malik Zaire, for whom he run routes. Sheehy Giuseppe even spent nights in former NFL safety Toby White's gym so he could get a chance to make as many NFL connections as possible. Now, this isn't exactly a tale of wandering homeless football player. He stayed with his mother, who supported his pursuit of his dream because she knew he'll only get one shot at it. And even if he didn't make it, he'll learn something from the experience. "I was as supportive as I could be, trying not to crush his dream," Shauna Sheehy said, "but making sure I wasn't being a detriment to Damon, really being a productive member of society. Goals are great, but he was getting older. I was like, hey, you can do this and you need to do it. You need to follow through. You need to show up. It's not just always about training. It's about a bigger picture too. So if that's what you want to do, then put 110% and I will support you in any way that I can support you." And that's what I've been doing. But that's how badly Sheehy Giuseppe wanted a chance. That's how his collegiate success happened, a product of pure effort and determination. A Phoenix College coach noticed him finishing first in the team sprints during Sheehy Giuseppe's first season and asked him if he could return kicks. Sheehy Giuseppe, who had never returned a kick in his life, said yes, and then he became an All-American returner. When considering this, it comes as no surprise that he decided to sleep outside the Miami gym, with his NFL chance closer than ever. That chance became a reality, potentially temporary, as nothing in the NFL lasts forever. When he arrived in Bray with the same 2 bags slung over his shoulder, soon after he'd impressed Brown scouts enough to earn a contract and a free meal. "Incredible," Highsmith said. "To be out of football as long as he's been out and still have the type of speed, that means he's fast. And now he's eating 3 square meals a day, sleeping in his own bed. The sky's the limit for him." Highsmith sees Sheehy Giuseppe fitting in as a returner with the potential to also play slot receiver, calling the former All-American quick, strong, and athletic. "So far, he's done a phenomenal job," Highsmith said. "Smart, knows every position. It's interesting. It's going to be a fun story the next 4 months. He's got a place to stay." Sheehy Giuseppe could be seen in head-to-toe Browns gear walking through the team facility with a noticeable bounce in his step on Thursday. "I couldn't be more happy. It's a grind, you know what I'm saying. I wasn't mad that I was sleeping on the beach. I wasn't upset." Sheehy Giuseppe said, "I was happy because I got an opportunity, and that's all that I ever wanted. I was blessed for that. I was more happy for that. I wasn't even thinking about where I was sleeping. I was thinking about the opportunity that I had in my hands right now, and I just wanted to make the most out of it." The reason why this inspiring tale is still a work in progress is the known fact that Sheehy Giuseppe could be back on the job hunt at any minute. A healthy amount of NFL players have the possibility hanging over their heads as they take the practice field or load up a barbell in the weight room. They all know a long-term career in the league is fleeting. But for Sheehy Juiseppi, that career wasn't even a possibility 2 weeks ago. I didn't shed no tears or anything because I know this is like for OTAs and stuff. Sheehy Juiseppi said, I want to make the real deal. I want to make sure I can make the 53-man roster. I just want to grind so I can make it to the 53rd. In the meantime, he's made friends with new Browns safety Morgan Burnett, whom Sheehy Juiseppi ran into at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. They're both staying at a nearby hotel where Sheehy Juiseppi can pick his brain about the complexities of opposing NFL coverage. For as long as he's part of the Browns, whether it's a week or a year or more, he's focused on learning the playbook and understanding NFL defenses. He'll approach it the same way he's attacked every slight opening of an opportunity, with his heart. It doesn't happen very often, trust me, Highsmith said of Sheehy Juiseppi's path to the Browns. I've been in this 22 years now, and that doesn't happen very often. And the chances of him making the team are very slimmer. But if he does, it'll be one of the greatest stories of all time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yours truly, Eddie Jeezy. Don't forget to check out my channel and press that like button. Peace, and we are out.